see three parents and can you see it's Christmas time? I'm your coach Karien and welcome back. I'm super excited for this conversations. We are going to talk about Christmas expectations. Let's dive right into this conversation. Now, Christmas time is usually very important for families. Whether you celebrate Christmas religiously or whether you celebrate Christmas just because it's a time of family and presents and music that plays over and over in the shops. But it's 2020, it's been a tough year and we're all looking forward to something to celebrate, something just to make us feel good. And that is why today's conversation is about managing our own expectations, or how to manage expectations during the festive season. So let's dive into this conversation. It is so important for us to manage our own expectations. We are so giddy, we're excited. So many of our families talk about Santa and we've got the elf on the shelf thing and we do all these weird and wonderful things and we just want to see the Christmas magic in our children's eyes and we want to make Christmas absolutely unforgettable, decorations, and we go the whole 9 yards. Some families, well, we barely put up a Christmas tree. We're some families. Not because we don't like Christmas, it's just because I'm a lazy person. I think this is the most anyway. How do we handle those expectations? We have these expectations to fill our children's life with joy and magic, especially over Christmas. It's almost like we put so much pressure on ourselves to make this unforgettable that we kind of put the same pressure on our kids to react in a way that as if it is unforgettable, as if they are extremely grateful, and they are grateful. They don't always necessarily show it, or they don't always necessarily show it in the way that we would want them to show. And that is why we need to take into account, why am I doing all this effort for the Christmas season? Why am I putting up tinsel? Why am I putting up lights? Why am I putting up the Christmas tree? Why are we gathering together as a family? Is it about the gifts? Is it about family time? Or is it about my children making me feel worthy because they enjoyed Christmas? And this is a tough one. This is not really a comfortable question to ask now, is it? The reality is, if I make Christmas all about how I want my family to react, I'm setting myself up to be disappointed. And that's the truth. Because somewhere along the line, someone is not going to react the way that I would want them to. Someone is just not going to enjoy the silliness and the giddiness and the fun of Christmas. And then we'll think of them as a Grinch, and then we will treat them like a Grinch. In the meantime, we might be missing the mark on what they find exciting for Christmas. So have your expectations, but remember, nobody in the family is responsible to make you feel loved and enjoying the Christmas period. So if you love the tinsel and the Christmas tree and the gifts and the family time, the most important part of Christmas is that family time, that investing, that traditions, that going with the flow. But remember, they are their own person and they might not really enjoy certain Christmas traditions. So when your child is about 4 or 5, start having conversations about what would they like to see and do over the Christmas period, over the holidays. How would they like to spend time together as a family? Let them decorate the tree, even if it's not picture book perfect. It's fine. It is about investing in your family, and you will find that yes, you might twitch every time that you look at the Christmas tree, which I do when my kids have decorated the tree, but the joy they have, the pride they have is all the payout I need. And I put my expectation on meeting their needs, and it's made it so much easier to then step away from the stresses of the so-called perfect Christmas and move into a bonding Christmas, a time for connection, a time for showering with love and care and reaching out. A second thing that is expectations usually during Christmas is in-laws and family. Now, families sometimes have this idea that, especially the elder family members, that the kids are supposed to be excited and happy almost at all times. We drag them to festivals of lights, and well, with Corona, we don't know. This is a bit early for the Christmas season for this video, but we drag them to places where there's Christmas trees and carols and this complete Christmas mayhem, and we love it. And our kids might feel overwhelmed. They might not enjoy it. It might be too much, and then they don't enjoy it. We need to be okay that when our kids feel overwhelmed, when they don't want to smile for the camera with grandma, when they don't want to wave at Santa Claus, when they cry relentlessly because they don't want to be at the festival, the Christmas light festival and the Christmas tree light up and the carols and all of that, that we should be okay to pack up our things and go home and not view it as something like, oh no, my kid spoiled Christmas now. Because your kid didn't spoil Christmas. It's just they did not enjoy it. And is it fair to drag a child to a place to meet our expectations? As they grow older, they might better equipped to handle the chaos and the mayhem and the joy but especially when they're young, they can feel overwhelmed a lot. And there's so much pressure on kids during the Christmas season to perform. These queues at malls, and thanks to Corona, they won't be that because social distancing or physical distancing, but kids are dragged to malls to sit on Santa's lap, smile at the camera, and some kids really love this and they enjoy it and they look forward to it every single year. And some kids really just see an old creepy guy on whose lap they have to sit. And you have to make your peace that your child might be that child, might be that kid that think it's an old creepy guy and they don't want to sit. And that's okay. You don't need the Santa Claus photo to enjoy your Christmas. You need that investment with your kid, listening to your kid, hearing them when they're saying no and respecting their no. Does it feel like all of a sudden, oh no, but you're taking the joy out, you're making Christmas dreary? Because I love all these things. Yes, you love it, but your kid doesn't. Find a way to meet them halfway. Maybe if you have a kid that is overwhelmed with crowds, instead of going to every single Christmas market or Christmas tree light up, pick one, negotiate with them for how long you're going to be there, explain to them what to expect, and then go and maybe stay in at the back instead of right in the front in the chaos, so that they can adjust. When parents or in-laws or family members starts putting pressure on the kids to behave in a certain way, to smile, you need to be their advocate. You need to be the one that steps up and say, you know what, I think they're done now. We can try it another time to get a photograph. We can try it another time to complete this thing. Our kids, we went to Garden of Lights at a place, and our one kid was completely freaked out. So we literally, with him, raced through the garden so we could get to the other side where there's less lights and less noise and less input. And the other kid enjoyed it. And so one of us rushed through, spent time with kiddo that struggled and helped them, and the other one that loved it got their opportunity to enjoy it and embrace it, and we made a deal. Next time we do a parent swap. The other parent gets to go sit in the darkness and just look from afar, and the other one gets to enjoy the overwhelming amount of Christmas music and lights and the engagement. And that is okay. You can do those things. It is about negotiation. It's about meeting each other halfway. When it comes to Christmas gifts, a lot of times we have family members that might give gifts to our kids that they don't like. They don't like the gift. So ideally spoken, the idea is that not to expect of our kids to hide their disappointment, but for them to always say thank you and thank you for thinking of me. Sometimes the gifts feel like you weren't thought of, and that is also okay for your kid to say that. This is an opportunity for you to have a conversation with them in private before you open the gifts and say, listen here, There might be gifts in there that you did not want, and that is okay. But that person still thought of you. That person still did the effort to get you something. So even if you don't like the gift, I need you to say thank you and appreciate that they thought of you, and then you can just move on to the other gift. They don't have to be like this all the time with every single gift. There is some kids that is like that, even if you give them a rock. But majority of the kids are not. So take that into account. And the last thing, the last note that I want to end this conversation about expectations regarding Christmas. Remember, even though the whole industry is almost just gifts related, you know, physical things, memories are created with time spent together. Toys are forgotten unless they didn't get the toy they asked for. Toys are forgotten. But that time together as a family, doing things together, having them participate in decision making and planning and getting everything done, that is where the memories lie. That is where the magic of Christmas is. That is the biggest gift that you can give your children this Christmas, is that time, that quality investment, that care, and that love that you can give them. And I forgot, so that wasn't the last one. Take into account, we all live in countries where there is people that are not privileged. If you are a family that celebrates Santa, and you know, let Santa bring gifts, get something that doesn't cost a lot of money as the gift from Santa. A lot of our kids go to schools where their school friends might not be as privileged as you, and it causes hardship if Santa gave your kid a new tablet and that kid got a pair of socks from Santa, because that is all that their parents could afford. So take that into account when you look at Christmas stocking, and when you look at those kind of things. Take into account that there is kids that your kids mingle with that may not get as exorbitant a gift from Santa. So you know, take ownership. I'm the one that bought you that tablet. I'm not going to give credit to Santa. Santa brought you the socks. Doesn't he suck? Anyway, on that note, I'm really going to end this video. Please stay safe, wash your hands, share some of your Christmas traditions with us. I would love to hear from you. Hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an absolutely blessed day. Cheers.